Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination news, newsmakers, talking points. Thursday night, the big talking point. The exit polls are out for the big Mumbai Municipal Corporation poll suggests that the Mahayuti led by the BJP will sweep the polls. Could it be the end of the Thakres who are alleging voter fraud? Is there any substance to their claim? Also, we have an exclusive. The legendary musician Zubin Mehta will speak to us and tell us why he believes artists must break their silence on political issues. Lots to look forward to, as always, on the news today. News without the noise. But thus, at the top of the hour, we are bringing you the big story of what the exit poll of polls have shown in the first big election of 2026. The BJP-led Mahayuti is set to sweep the BMC polls. The exit polls are giving a clear edge to the BJP Shiv Sena combined in the crucial elections to India's richest civic body. The counting, remember, will take place tomorrow. It appears from the polls that the Thakres, who have come together, have not had any major impact. All the exit polls are showing in effect a triple engine triumph in the Mumbai for the BJP. Exit polls in particular are showing Mahila and youth choosing the BJP over their rivals. Just take a look at what the exit poll numbers are showing. Let's take a look at each of those exit poll numbers. Remember, there are 227 wards. So the halfway mark is 114 in the Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Axis My India gives the BJP alliance 141, JVC 138, DV Research 107 to 122, Sakal polls 119, Janmat polls 138, and another poll JDS 127 to 154 to the BJP. So none of the polls are suggesting that the Shiv Sena-led alliance or the UBT, Uddhav Thackeray-led alliance is anywhere close to the halfway mark. The Congress is turning out to be a bit of a spoiler as a marginal player, getting around 20 to 25 seats. So the big picture, the first big election, if the exit polls are right, will mean more good news for the BJP-led alliance. Let me go straight to the pollsters. Pradeep Gupta, Chairman and MD Axis My India, joining us. Sanjay Kumar, Co-Director, Lokniti CSTS, also with us. Pradeep Gupta, your poll is giving a relatively comfortable majority to the BJP-led alliance. I just want to understand, confident about the numbers, because as you know, pollsters have had a mixed record in the last 24 months. Do you believe that the trend is very clear, the BJP-led alliance ahead, and why? What is the main reason that is propelling them forward according to your exit poll?
So, Rajdeep, it is important for me to let everybody knows about our track record and people to believe accordingly or otherwise. Axis My India till now, last 12 years, we have predicted about 81 elections and accurately called elections right in 75 cases, 75 out of 81. So that's the poll record. Now coming to this thing, our actual range of ward share, the seat share is 131 to 151 for the BJP plus, and UBT it is 58 and 68. Now coming to why this number or the tally looks like in the prediction, at least, the major reason is that split of Shiv Sena comparing to the last election, where Sanjay Sena is splitted from the Shiv Sena main alliance. Last time, all four major parties has fought elections separately, and Shiv Sena secured 84 seats versus the BJP 82 seats. I mean, the very simplest arithmetic is here, and they secured 28 to 27% of the BJP and the 28 for the Shiv Sena. And this time, MNS with 7% vote share is added to this fold. And Shiv Sena, even if you take 50% of Shiv Sena, the 14 percentage points is split away. Even if you give the advantage to the UBT, 14% shifted, 7% added, and over and above, some minority vote added this time in comparison to the last time in the fold of UBT. But when you see the Mumbai, you know better than anybody else what is the Mumbai geography all about. These Muslim are the minority. There are about 41 odd seat, which is the Muslim dominate, but it is spread in three major pockets, which is Kalba Devi and Bhaikala 1, where the Congress is number one among the minority, the Muslim vote. In Jogeshwari, the second pocket is the Jogeshwari, Malad, Chandivali area, where the UBT is securing number one position. And in Mankur and Govandi area, where the Congress is, the vote is split among the Congress and the Samajwadi Party, and the UBT being the third player over
Right.
there. So clear cut, the minority vote, which is 19%, is splitted into threefold. Then you can say some consolidation of Marathi vote, which contributes to total 37%, 50%, half of it in the favor of UBT. But the third and the large pie, the share is 44% non-Marathi, non-Muslim vote, where BJP plus securing the among the North Indians and among the Gujaratis and the Rajasthanis and South Indians as high as 68 to 70%.
So what you're saying, let me make it simple. You're saying the Marathi vote, to a large extent, the Maharashtrian vote is going to the UBT, but not fully. A substantial chunk of it is also going to the Shiv Sena, and some of it also going to the BJP. Number two, the Muslim vote is getting fragmented. It's not going one-sided as it was in the Lok Sabha in 2024. And number three, and importantly, the non-Maharashtrian, North Indian, South Indian vote is consolidating around the BJP-led alliance. So the pure arithmetic is working in favor of the BJP alliance because they have a broader alliance. Am I correct? That the broader alliance is the one which is working. The opposition is fragmented. The BJP vote is getting consolidated.
Yeah, and if you see, this is the demographically, the community wise, if you see the geography, if you divide Mumbai into three major regions, one is the greater Mumbai from Mahim to Kulaba, where UBT is giving good fight. In central suburb, where the UBT and Shiv Sena Shinde and BJP alliance is almost equal. But the actual lead is coming from the western suburb, where BJP has always been the big player, particularly on account of large number of Gujaratis and Rajasthanis and Marwaris and those kind of communities here.
Right.
And that is where you will find 2:1. That's the difference between UBT and BJP when it comes to Mumbai.
We are also seeing a divide within in terms of gender and in terms of age group. Very interestingly, Sanjay Kumar, Pradeep Gupta's poll is suggesting that the older voters by and large are still to an extent with the Thakres, but the younger voters in Mumbai have shifted firmly to the BJP-led alliance. And the women voters to a large extent have also moved towards the BJP. We've seen the benefits of that in state elections also, the freebies, the Latki Bahin scheme. Do you get a sense, as I said, that the BJP post-2024 has worked actively to create a broader alliance, even as the opposition has got more and more fragmented, or has not offered something which is attractive for the women and young voters in particular?
You're right, Rajdeep. While we have not done any poll for the BMC elections, but I think the data which has been presented by Pradeep ji also indicates of on the similar lines as we have witnessed in the Lok Sabha elections nationally when 2024 Lok Sabha elections were held. And if you look at how people in different states have voted, whether it is Bihar, Maharashtra, Haryana, or some other state, and these are the states where BJP has registered a big victory along with the allies. And the two key factors these days have been the women vote. Women voters have shifted in favor of BJP in a big way. In Bihar, the women turnout was 9% higher compared to the men turnout. And BJP alliance took almost 4 or 5% lead among the women voters. So I'm not surprised if the data indicates that in the BMC election, what is happening is that the women vote and the young voters are consolidating behind the BJP and its allies. And while Thakres had expected that they will get the young votes of the young people, they may not be getting the larger share of the young voters.
Am I also right, Sanjay Kumar, in saying that the BJP, particularly in urban India, and we've seen this now for some length of time, the Modi factor, and in the case of Mumbai, this time the Fadnavis factor, gives the BJP an advantage. The BJP is seen to be far more attractive for a new so-called aspirational urban voter. You create these large-scale infrastructure projects and suggest that, look, we are looking to the future, the opposition is looking at the past.
Rajdeep, because if you remember the BJP of the 1990s, in a sense 1998, 99 elections, that was the time when BJP was
Rajdeep, I
extremely
can't hear
popular in
Sanjay ji's this.
Yeah, go ahead,
BJP.
Sanjay.
BJP was extremely popular in the urban locations and very little vote BJP was getting in rural India. But slowly and gradually, if you see the BJP's expansion since 2014 till 2024, BJP has expanded massively in the rural India, and that's why BJP in 2019 Lok Sabha election managed to reach 37% vote. But remember, yes, BJP has been able to make inroads among the rural voters, but still, disproportionately very high number of people vote for BJP in urban location, and it's much bigger in the big metropolitan cities like Mumbai, which we are discussing today.
You know, Pradeep Gupta, there will be those, of course, your polls don't look at the money factor, the money power, the resources. Opposition leaders claim 10 to 1, the BJP has an advantage, especially in a poll like Mumbai, where the role of developers, the role of contractors becomes more and more important. Average size of a constituency is 50,000. If only 25, 30,000 people vote, I only need to effectively get 10 to 12,000 people to vote for me. Is there a money factor, resource factor, or does this go beyond that?
I think, Rajdeep, it goes beyond that. As far as the money goes, I mean, major political party, they use this money power to woo the voters, and I'll tell you, in Jogeshwari area where my people have reported, last 15 days घर में खाना नहीं बनाया उन्होंने, पूरे के पूरे पंडाल और पॉलिटिकल पार्टी में वहीं खाना बन रहा है, वहीं मस्ती चल रही है और सारा कुछ हो रहा है. सो इट रिक्वायर्ड लॉट ऑफ मनी, बट टू से सो जो भी पावर में होता है, दे आर इन अ बेटर पोजीशन एज फार एज द बैंडविड्थ इज कंसर्न, be it money power or the other powers, there's not a single percent doubt onto that. But until and unless I always say so, the winning the election is winning the hearts of the people, and it cannot be fake. No money can buy win for you. They may buy some votes here and there, but overall picture is always depend on your performance or the performance of the incumbent government, whoever
How,
is there at this thing.
how much of a difference has the fact that the opposition was not united? Had all these parties fought together, would it have been a closer contest as per your exit polls?
Definitely, yes. Not a single percent doubt onto this. You have witnessed and seen this during the Lok Sabha election, particularly in Mumbai. It was 4:2 when it comes to the 6 Lok Sabha seats. 4 for the opposition alliance and 2 for the one each for the BJP and Shiv Sena Sindhe. So
Right.
definitely, had they fought together, these particularly minority votes and Dalit vote, you are underestimating the Dalit vote. This time Congress staged the alliance with Prakash Ambedkar VBA, which scored substantial chunk of Dalits among the Dalits. And that is the Congress strategy when it comes to the national level. They try and get their core vote bank of minority and Dalit into their fold, which they
Right.
have lost on account of these regional parties. And that is the precisely reason why they have not staged the alliance when it comes to the Mumbai in particular.
Final word from you, Sanjay Kumar. If these numbers hold, does it mean that the Thackeray brand of identity politics of playing the Marathi Manus card or playing the politics that Balasaheb Thackeray played doesn't work in a new India? Does it show that you've got to change the way you do your politics now in this newer India?
Certainly, Rajdeep. If these numbers hold, and I think that these numbers are going to hold, it's only about the range of, victory for BJP and its allies. The traditional caste, class cleavages is not working in Indian elections now. Yes, you are able to attract voters of your own caste community, and that applies to Mumbai as well. That yes, you are able to appeal sections of voters, but in order to win election in a competitive mode, you have to reach out to voters beyond your core constituency. That's
Right.
not. If you look at all the opposition party, whether it is about the Mumbai municipal election or in other state, look at what happened in Bihar. Yes, RJD and its allies managed to get votes among the Yadavs and the Muslims, but they failed to get votes beyond these two communities. So that seems to be happening even in the Mumbai Municipal Corporation election. That
Right.
the Thackeray brothers are able to get their core supporters, but they are unable to attract the add-on voters, which is essential for winning an election.
Final word, Pradeep Gupta. When I look at the real issues of Mumbai, they are worried about sewage, drinking water. Those are the issues that were the top issue in your poll. Do you believe that governance really matters, or is it now freebie Raj? Quick answer.
No, governance definitely matter. Last 4 years, there is no local representation, and these issues are generally addressed by the local corporator and get them addressed. And I want to put one small caveat on the rider. You always ask me in the end, what is this X factor? I will tell this time voter turnout. If our whole projection is based on the final voter turnout around 54%. If it is more, it will be advantage to BJP plus 1% is equal to 10 seats at the wards. And if it is less than 54, it will less number of seats at the ward for the BJP plus. This is what I want to put caveat.
Okay.
I do not have the.
You have kept a
final
caveat.
number.
I'm glad you have kept a caveat because we'll see how this plays out tomorrow. But I
Yes,
appreciate
that's
you joining us. The poll of polls is clearly showing advantage to the BJP in India's commercial capital. Thank you both, Sanjay Kumar and Pradeep Gupta, for joining me. Now, the polls today saw a relatively low voter turnout. It was just a little over 50%. We'll wait for the final numbers. But there was a controversy. The opposition alleged that the marker pens that were used instead of indelible ink during voting could be easily manipulated. Several videos surfaced showing the ink being easily wiped off the voters' fingers. The BMC and the State Election Commission has denied any malpractice, but has admitted that there is a need for an inquiry. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has also asserted that the ink could not be removed. Take a look at this report.
The first election in 8 years for Mumbai's civic body has been clouded by controversy. After a high-voltage campaign, polling day turned equally charged, with the opposition alleging electoral manipulation. The Thackeray brothers, reunited after 2 decades, accused authorities of using marker pens instead of indelible ink, claiming that it was done to benefit the ruling Mahayuti alliance. They allege the ink applied on voters' fingers can be easily wiped off, holding the State Election Commission and the BMC accountable.
बाईचं नाव रवींद्र असेल का पुरुष मतदाराच्या नावाच्या पुढे बाईचा फोटो ह्याच गोष्टी आम्ही मोर्चा काढून सांगितल्या होत्या निवडणूक आयुक्तांच्या समोर ठेवल्या होत्या त्याच्यानंतर शाई पुसल्या जाण्याच्या तक्रारी येत आहेत तर हे सगळे निवडणूक जिंकण्यासाठी यांचा आटापिटा चाललेला आहे बोटावरची शाई तर पुसली जातेच आहे अशा प्रकारे यापूर्वी कधी झाले नव्हते
ये न केने प्रकारे निवडणुका जिंकायच्या आणि त्याच्यासाठी जे काही वाटेल ते करता येईल त्याच्या सगळ्या गोष्टी सरकार आणि प्रशासन बरं का आता काहीतरी नवीन पेन आणलंय आणि ते पेन मध्ये इतक्या तक्रारी सगळ्या बाजूनी येत आहेत की तुम्ही बाहेर पडल्यावरती त्याला जर सॅनिटायझर लावलं तर ती शाई जाते.
The Congress echoed these charges, releasing videos purportedly showing ink being erased from fingers with ease. The Mahayuti, however, has outright rejected these allegations. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis even staged a live demonstration, asserting that the ink used is indelible and cannot be removed.
ये अभी मैंने ये मार्कर मेरे को लगाया हुआ है अब इसको मिटा के दिखाइए देखिए कहीं मिट रहा है देखिए आपके सामने कर रहा हूँ कहीं मिट रहा है ऐसा है कि हो सकता है कि किसी का इसके ऊपर ऑब्जेक्शन हो इलेक्शन कमीशन ने देखना चाहिए और कुछ इस्तेमाल करना है तो करना चाहिए मैं तो बोलता ऑयल पेंट करना तो ऑयल पेंट करिए चुनाव निष्पक्ष होने चाहिए.
Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde slammed the opposition, saying that the allegations are nothing but excuses from parties staring at defeat.
वो तो पोलिंग एजेंट तो उनके भी है ना, सभी पार्टी के पोलिंग एजेंट है। डबल वोटिंग करना तो उसको ऑब्जेक्शन देना चाहिए।
While the BMC has dismissed the claims, the State Election Commission too has clarified that anyone who tries to erase the ink from the finger can still not vote again. But whether that is enough to placate the opposition remains to be seen. Bureau Report, India Today.
So can you remove the ink of your finger? Remember, I don't vote in Mumbai, but Anuja Dhakras, who is our a correspondent with Mumbai Tak, our Marathi news website, does, and she was among the first to show how it can be easily removed. Anuja, ये बताइए, आपने सुबह दिखाया था कि ये आसानी से रिमूव हो सकता है. क्या वाकई ये सच्चाई है? कितने मिनटों में आपने वो इंक रिमूव किया? क्या अभी भी वो स्याही आपके उंगली पर है?
जी हाँ, मेरे हाथ पे अभी भी वो स्याही है, लेकिन इसका वजह ये है क्योंकि मैंने 2 घंटे के बाद ये कोशिश की। हुआ ऐसे कि मैंने वोट तकरीबन 7:30 पौने 8 बजे के दरमियान किया और उसके बाद 9 बजे जब मैं स्टूडियो में आई, तब हमारे कुछ दर्शकों ने ये चीज़ जो है वो हमारे ध्यान में लाई कि ऐसी चीज़ें हो रही है, क्या आप इसके ऊपर ध्यान दे सकते हैं? तो जब हमने ये डिसाइड किया कि क्यों ना इसका फैक्ट चेक लाइव ही किया जाए, तो हम लोग ने लाइव में ही एसीटोन मंगवाया और उस एसीटोन से हम लोग ने चेक किया कि क्या ये सच में रिमूव हो रहा है। मुझे वोट करके 2 घंटे हो चुके थे, इसके लिए मेरी तकरीबन 70 to 80% जो इंक है वो रिमूव हो पाई। लेकिन कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं कि जिन्होंने सोशल मीडिया पे ये वीडियोस जो है वो शेयर किए थे कि वो वोट करके आए हैं और अगर वो तुरंत इसको मिटाने की कोशिश करता है तो वो मिट रही है। इसको लेके बवाल इस वजह से हुआ है क्योंकि मुंबई में काफी सारे डबल वोटर्स पाए गए हैं। हालांकि इलेक्शन कमीशन का कहना यह है कि हम लोग ने उन डबल वोटर्स के सामने डबल स्टार भी मार्क किया है ताकि वो डबल टाइम वोट ना कर पाए। लेकिन अगर आप एक जगह से वोट करके आ रहे हैं और अगर आप वो इंक मिटा सकते हैं तो क्या आप दूसरी जगह पे जाके वोट कर पाएंगे? इसकी वजह से ये मुद्दा जो है वो विपक्ष ने भी उठाया और फिर आखिर में इलेक्शन कमीशन, स्टेट इलेक्शन कमीशन को सामने आना पड़ा और सफाई देनी पड़ी कि ये चीज हो नहीं सकती। उनका ये कहना है कि ये 2011 से ही ये इंक यूज हो रही है और वो मार्कर से भी इंक यूज हो रही है अगर लोकल इलेक्शंस है तो उनका ये कहना था कि ये चीजें हो ही नहीं सकती और अगर कोई भी वोटर ये कोशिश कर रहा है तो वो इलीगल है, ऐसा हो नहीं सकता, ऐसा इलेक्शन कमीशन का मानना है।
But the fact is, as Anuja says, 70 to 80% of the ink could be removed the moment you used acetone, and that was 2 hours after. Immediately after, you could remove it all. I want to bring in, thanks very much, Anuja. I want to bring in Mohammad Amin, former Joint Director, Election Commission. The fact is, Mohammad Amin, this is very serious. The Election Commission can play it down and say, no, no, you can't do duplicate voting. Duplicate voting is one other thing. But the fact that the ink can be removed, should that not be very troubling? That there are so many videos coming out of people removing the ink using acetone. You can't have a marker pen just because it has been going on since 2011.
ECI always, Rajdeep, ECI is always using the erasable ink, as you told me about the ink. And ink is not easily to remove from the left index finger. It's not easy job. Actually, within seconds, this will be, might be you are also having your always in your finger left fine.
No, but अगर आप acetone use करें तो ये निकल रहा है. What does it mean? If I can use acetone and remove it,
no, I can, Rajdeep, I can agree on that. They may be the expired, maybe 1 or 2 bottles, but not every bottle. Maybe the date may be expired.
No, marker pen is being removed.
No, that can be inquiry set up by the commission to see what happened in the case of the removing the ink immediately after the touching the fingers.
But do you think that these marker pens should be used just because it is a local body election?
No.
Should we use indelible ink? Why should marker pen be used?
No, we cannot use the marker pen. Just we can use this ink only, and we call the electoral ink. That's why. And always we're putting in the left index finger. So,
but you are saying you don't accept that this can be done on large scale. You are saying it can be done in few cases, not on large scale. Am I correct?
Pardon?
But it cannot be done on big scale. You cannot do this across the board. एक दो cases में होगा, but you are denying that it can be done on large scale. Am I correct?
Yeah, of course. Maybe 1 or 2 cases. Otherwise, it's not easy job to remove the ink. Otherwise, so every parliament and every assembly, you can see this ink is used by the Election Commission of India.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Mr. Amin. We'll wait and see what the Election Commission's inquiry suggests. But for joining me on that story, I appreciate you joining me. Let me turn from there to the other big political story. A setback to West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, with the Supreme Court stalling a probe on FIRs filed by the Bengal government against the Enforcement Directorate in the IPAC raid case. The apex court made it clear that while central agencies cannot interfere in election work, they are fully empowered to probe serious offences. The top court has now directed the Mamata government to file its response by the 3rd of February and preserve the CCTV footage. Take a look at tonight's big story.
In a major setback to Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, Supreme Court has paused FIR registered against Enforcement Directorate in IPAC raids case. The investigating agency had accused the Chief Minister of Bengal of committing robbery and taking away seized all the documents. The Supreme Court observed that central agencies do not have power to interfere with the election work of any party, but they do have the powers to investigate any serious offence. While pointing out at the chaos that erupted in Calcutta High Court on January 14th, Supreme Court said that they were very much disturbed at the prospect of such pandemoniums repeating in courtrooms. The Enforcement Directorate even cited a WhatsApp chat from the TMC's legal cell group alleging that the party had plotted the ruckus during the High Court hearing. The apex court has now asked Bengal government to file a counter affidavit within 2 weeks and directed to preserve the CCTV footages of the premises searched on January 8th. However, Bengal government called ED's charges an absolute lie and called that Chief Minister Banerjee only took away the laptop and an iPhone containing party information.
Evidence which has been taken by in this statement is 21st February 2024. Thereafter, he was sleeping altogether. Now, when the election is forthcoming, then he was jumping upon. ED is jumping upon. That is also the question now.
The BJP, on the other hand, has welcomed top court's order to stall the FIR.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने साफ ये बोल दिया कि किसी भी सेंट्रल एजेंसी अगर किसी जगह में जांच करे तो उसमें इंटरवेन करना, अगर किसी राज्य की तरफ से उसमें इंटरवेन हो जाना तब तो स्टेट में लॉलेसनेस हो जाएगा.
With elections inching closer, the battle for Bengal looks set to only get bitter in the days going forward.
A serious question that arises is, if a central agency wants to investigate a serious offence in a state in a bona fide manner, can the shield of a political party activity or state enforcement agencies be used to obstruct them? The order in this case will not only be limited to the political face-off in West Bengal. It is likely to have wider ramification as far as probe by central agencies is concerned, especially in states where the ruling party is not the same as the one in centre. With camera person Pradeep Gupta from New Delhi, this is Srishti Ojha for India Today.
And staying with the courts, trouble continues to mount for actor-politician Vijay's much-awaited film Jananayagan. In a major setback for the filmmakers, the Supreme Court refused to intervene in the censor board clearance row, declined to hear the producer's plea for urgent relief. The top court made it clear it is not inclined to entertain the matter, directed the makers to approach the Madras High Court instead. The Supreme Court, in fact, pulled up the producers for rushing directly to the apex court. Remember, this is the film which is being touted as Vijay's political swan song, or his film swan song before his full-time entry into politics in the Tamil Nadu elections that will take place in a few months from now.
The legal and political stakes of a case can be understood when you have no one less than a former Attorney General appearing before the Supreme Court for a production house stating that they have been ruined and that they have lost everything. That's exactly what happened today before the Supreme Court in the case of KVN Productions and actor Vijay, who have both been fighting for the release of their film Jananayagan against the CBFC. The Supreme Court has categorically refused to interfere in the matter, with the bench headed by Justice Dipankar Datta asking the makers to go back to the Madras High Court Chief Justice's bench and place their arguments there. In an important direction, however, the Supreme Court has told the Madras High Court to ensure that the matter is decided before the 20th of Jan, which was done on the request of the producers themselves. The Madras High Court had also seen heated arguments between the CBFC and the filmmakers over whether or not the UA certificate should be granted. But it will now be before the 20th of Jan when the Chief Justice's division bench is going to decide as to whether or not the single judge order that had directed the CBFC to grant a UA certificate for the release of the film should stand or should it be vacated. In New Delhi, this is Nalini Sharma for India Today.
And ahead of the Tamil Nadu elections, questions are mounting over the Vijay factor in particular. Will Vijay tie up possibly with the Congress? Could he be part of a broader AIADMK alliance with the BJP? Well, my colleague Akshita Nandgopal spoke exclusively to Tamil Nadu's leader of the opposition and AIADMK former Chief Minister Edappadi Palanisamy on the Vijay factor and more. Listen in.
So there you have it, the perfect moment of Edappadi Palanisamy atop a bullock cart and riding the bullock cart. We'll go to the next location, try to catch him there. It's extremely chaotic here. People are jostling, trying to get a glimpse. எல்லாரும் கூட ஃபைட் பண்ணீங்கன்னு சொல்றீங்க.
அதாவது ஒரு மோசமான ஆட்சி தமிழகத்தில் நடந்துட்டு இருக்குது. இந்த ஆட்சி அகற்ற வேண்டும் என்று மக்கள் முடிவு செய்து விட்டார்.
நீங்க ஆந்திர பிரதேசல பாத்தீங்கல்ல, எல்லாரும் ஒரு சைடு, ஜெகன் ஒரு சைடு. அதே மாதிரி இங்க கூட
கிடையாது. அந்த பக்கமும் இருக்குல்ல, திமுக பக்கம் காங்கிரஸ், விடுதலை சிறுத்தை, கம்யூனிஸ்ட் கட்சிகள் இருக்குது. அதே போல எங்க தரப்புலயும் அண்ணா திமுக, பாரதிய ஜனதா, அப்புறம் பாட்டாளி மக்கள் கட்சி, இப்படி தேசிய ஜனநாயக கூட்டணியில் சில கட்சிகள் அங்கம் வச்சது. அந்த கட்சிகள் எல்லாம் இணைந்து இருக்குது. ஆக அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழக தலைமையில தேசிய ஜனநாயக கூட்டணி இணைந்து மிகப்பெரிய வெற்றி பெறும்.
ஆனா யூசுவலா தேர்தல்ல தமிழ்நாடுல திமுக அதிமுக இது ரெண்டு ஃபைட் தான் இருக்கும். இந்த வாட்டி இன்னொரு ஃபேக்டர்
தான் உள்ள போட்டி
இல்ல, இந்த வாட்டி மூணாவது ஃபேக்டர் இருக்கா? விஜய் சொல்றாங்க,
நீங்க தான் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. ஆனா களத்துல இன்னும் அவங்களுக்கு சந்திக்கவே இல்லையே. களத்துல சந்திச்சா தான் அவர்களுக்கு எவ்வளவு வாக்கு சதவீதம் கிடைக்கும். ஆனா ஏற்கனவே பலமுறை அதிமுக திமுக களத்துல சந்திச்சிருக்குது. நாடாளுமன்ற தேர்தலும் சரி, சட்டமன்ற தேர்தலும் சரி, உள்ளாட்சி தேர்தலும் சரி, கூட்டுறவு தேர்தலும் பலமுறை சந்திச்சு வெற்றி வாய்ப்பு பெற்றுக்கிறோம், வெற்றி வாய்ப்பு இழந்திருக்கிறோம். இதுதான் நிலைமை தமிழகத்தை பொறுத்த இந்த முறை பொறுத்து, இந்த வருகின்ற சட்டமன்ற தேர்தலை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் தேசிய ஜனநாயக கூட்டணி இணைந்து இன்னைக்கு மிகப்பெரிய வெற்றி பெறும் தமிழகத்தில்.
நம்பர் கொடுங்க சார். எவ்வளவு நம்பர் கிடைக்கும், எவ்வளவு சீட் கிடைக்கும் அதிமுக இல்ல என்டிஏக்கு?
என்டிஏ அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட தேசிய ஜனநாயக கூட்டணி மக்களிடத்திலே மிகப்பெரிய ஆதரவு நிலவி கொண்டிருக்கின்றது. வருகின்ற சட்டமன்ற தேர்தலில் அண்ணா திமுக தலைமையில என்டிஏ இணைந்து எல்லாமே இணைந்து நாங்க பணியாற்றிட்டு இருக்கிறோம். இன்னும் சில கட்சிகள் எங்க கூட்டணியில் வந்து சேர இருக்குது. சந்தர்ப்பம் வரும்போது சொல்லுவோம். சந்தர்ப்பம் வரும்போது சொல்லுவோம். அது யார் வருவாங்கன்னு இப்ப சொல்ல முடியாது. எங்களை பொறுத்தவரை சில கட்சிகள் எங்களோடு வந்து இணைவதற்கு பேச்சுவார்த்தை நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கார்கள். நிச்சயமாக பலம் பொருந்திய கூட்டணி எங்களுடைய கூட்டணி. வருகின்ற சட்டமன்ற தேர்தலில் சுமார் 210 இடங்களில் வென்று அதிமுக ஆட்சி அமைக்கும்.
Let's turn to tonight's shocker. Imagine battling illness in hospitals while rats crawl around your hospital bed. That's the horrifying reality that has surfaced from a government hospital in Uttar Pradesh's Gonda district. A viral video shows multiple rats swarming inside the orthopedic ward, crawling over rods, darting between beds, scurrying near medicines meant for patients. The shocking visuals have raised a larger question. How safe are patients inside government district hospitals? Take a look at tonight's Get Real India story.
Imagine having rats crawl all around you. as you lay in a hospital bed hoping to be treated. This is a stomach-curdling scene from a government hospital in Uttar Pradesh's Gonda district that has gone viral. Not one or two, but several rats were seen crawling along a rod, attempting to tear open a plastic bag inside the orthopedics ward. Over a dozen rats were seen darting from one side of the bed to the other and around the steel rack where the medication was placed.
जिसे कोई भोजन छोड़ दिया, कुछ भी छोड़ दिया और सारी सुविधाएं हैं, लेकिन चूहे वो आ जाते हैं. किसी ने भोजन छोड़ दिया है, ब्रेड है, कुछ भी है, तो उसके भोजन के चक्कर में वो आते हैं.
Gonda District Hospital Administration is now under fire for the tragic state of health centre. After the video went viral, hospital authorities swung into action. Pest control spraying was carried out in the orthopedics ward, with multiple glue pads were placed across the hospital premises to trap the rodents. Officials have also ordered a complete renovation of the district hospital.
काफी पेशेंट अपने साथ में सामान लेकर के आ जाते हैं, तो उसकी वजह से यहाँ पे चूहे जो है थोड़ा सा फैलते हैं और अपना क्योंकि रैट होल पुरानी बिल्डिंग होने के कारण है इसमें, तो जो है हम लोगों ने एक जो है इंक्वायरी कमेटी गठित की है और उम्मीद कर रहे हैं कि हम लोग 48 आवर में कोई एक कॉन्क्रीट रिपोर्ट उसमें जो है ड्रॉ कर. इस बिल्डिंग का भी रिनोवेशन का कार्य योजना जो है अप्रूव हो गई है.
The authorities have meanwhile appealed to the kin of the patients to dispose of leftover food items in the dustbin and not inside the wards. However, the incident has once again spotlighted the urgent need for stricter hygiene protocols, routine inspections, and accountability in government-run medical institutions. With Achal Srivastav in Gonda, Bureau Report, India Today.
Just pause and look at those images again. This is in a government medical college in Gonda, in Uttar Pradesh. Poonam Muthreja, Executive Director at the Population Council of India, joins us. She looks closely at public health issues. When you see those images, Poonam, playing on a screen of rats moving around in a hospital, in an orthopedic ward, what's the first reaction? Is this an isolated case, or does it, in your view, represent what is unfortunately wrong and rotten or rattan in some parts of the country?
This is no surprise, Rajdeep. I have seen dogs in district hospitals and primary healthcare centers. I have seen cobwebs that reach the hospital bed or women lying on the floor. What we're seeing is not just a hygiene failure. What we're seeing is a public health failure. A hospital should be the safest place for patients. When rats roam wards, it signals a breakdown of a system, not just a sanitation situation, but in governance, in funding, in accountability. India spends 1.6% of its GDP compared to the global average of 6%. And this is clearly not an isolated incident. It reflects a systematic failure. And I want to say here that our health minister, Mr. Nadda, is very well aware of this. The first thing when he became health minister, he rolled out a scheme called Kaya Kalp to clean up the hospital facilities in public health. But so they're well aware. I don't know what happened.
No, but is it therefore a problem of funding? Is it a problem of accountability? Is it a problem at the state government level? This is in Gonda district. I mean, what would it take? Let's say, what would it take to ensure that we don't see such images in your view?
Okay, so it's a failure of all. It's a failure of funding. It's a failure of human resources. 40% of government facilities 40% of the staff, not only doctors are missing, but the cleaning staff is missing. We don't employ the right numbers of people. To blame the citizens or patients who brought food, I think is very unfair. So many districts, as I said, the vacancies in housekeeping are 40%. Poor infrastructure directly increases health risks, and hospital-acquired infections, we all know, are 10 to 15% of the mortality. And rodent vectors for disease, they lead to all kinds of very serious illnesses. And I also want to say that the cleanliness is not just about patient safety. It's about their survival. And one-time pest control is not a solution. Spraying after a video goes viral is, we are missing the actual situation. Dedicated facility management budgets are needed. So I will keep pointing out at the financial, but I will also point out that routine third-party audits of hospital conditions are not done. Real-time grievance redressals don't take place. And here I also want to talk about citizens' engagement. We have Rogi Kalyan Samitis, which are supposed to participate, but they are scared to tell a doctor, to tell a nurse, to tell, to point out. They get reprimanded if they talk about cleanliness. So don't just blame the people, though I do want citizens to be not just as silent observers. We have to be participants that raise these issues, and citizens cannot be silent. India has a platform under the National Health Mission, as I said, not only Rogi Kalyan Samitis, but we also have portals for grievance redressal, but none of them work. Like the Kaya Kalp scheme that the Prime Minister, the Health Minister rolled out. We roll out schemes, but we are a scheming society that rolls out schemes, and we know what is wrong with our public health system. We know what is the cleanliness standards are the worst in Indian hospitals. When I go there, I wonder how. I asked a doctor once, I said, what do you do with in the maternity ward with this situation? He said, from my pocket, I give every woman, I spend the money to give her an antibiotic before she delivers in a hospital. That is the situation. And we clearly need to not only increase budgets, but we need visible patient rights charters which are adhered to, and time-bound public action has to be taken on these reports. But report for this hospital will be the same for reports in other hospitals, Rajdeep.
Okay, I'm going to leave it. Those are very strong words from you, Poonam Mutreja. I hope someone is listening. These are the real issues that really need our top focus. Maybe we got this one wrong. Rather than lead with the poll of polls on exit polls, this is the story that we should have led our 9 p.m. bulletin with. Thanks very much, Poonam Mutreja, for joining me. Let me turn to a very special conversation. In an exclusive interaction with India Today, the one and only Zubin Mehta, the maestro conductor, now approaching his 90th birthday, and he's now conducting an orchestra with the Belgrade Symphony Orchestra in Mumbai this week. He spoke out on a variety of issues to me. He also, among other things, targeted the Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the Gaza attacks, calling for artists to break their silence on political issues. Remember, Mr. Mehta has been the master orchestra conductor in Israel for decades now. He also explained why through all these years and the honors he's received across the world, he has not given up his Indian citizenship. This is a short snippet from that extended conversation that I had with one of the legends of our times. Listen in to Apro Zubin Mehta. Did you feel strongly, therefore, about your Parsi and Indian roots? The reason I'm asking you this is you, of course, left this country in the 1960s, went on to achieve great fame and acclaim across the world, and yet you never gave up your Indian citizenship.
That's true.
What sort of was the reason for that Zubin Mehta always felt his roots were here? Is that how you felt?
The only reason is I've never stopped being an Indian. That's the proof of it is I carry an Indian passport for all these years.
Your years in Israel, in a way, have also been very important.
50 years.
50 years in Israel. How has that shaped your musical journey, the long period that you've spent in Israel?
It was a period of education also. And I went with them all over the world, because I was music director for 50 years. And I didn't know what anti-Semitism was. I learned a little bit in Vienna. I experienced it when my landlord told me that I cannot invite Jews to my house as friends. I never knew what that was like in India.
Yeah.
In my school, not at all.
The reason I'm asking you that, Mr. Mehta, is you've been vocal about not supporting Israel's occupation of Palestine in the past. You've stood up for Argentina-born Israeli conductor, pianist, and your friend Daniel Barenboim. You've disapproved of Israeli lawmakers who banned his performances because they were unhappy about him performing compositions by the great German composer Wagner due to his connections with Nazism and because he was seen as Hitler's favorite composer. You've often visited Ramallah in Palestine. You worked with Arab musicians. Do you believe that a day would come when you would have an orchestra where you would have Israelis and Palestinians together?
Oh yes, I have that now. In fact, I have a tour of Spain and Italy and Austria with an orchestra called the Divan, which was founded by Daniel Barenboim, and I'm taking over from him. And that orchestra is made of Israelis and Palestinians who sit together and make music and get along absolutely without problem.
Can you separate music from politics? Because we live in times where, for example, sport.
Well, I can't, and I never have.
You can't separate music from politics.
And I have many colleagues who are the same, who don't separate music from politics.
So you feel strongly about a political issue. Does that then reflect in the way your musical journey?
I cancelled all my engagements in Israel this year because of my objection to Mr. Netanyahu's way of treating the whole Palestinian issue. I hope that finishes. I hope he is outvoted by the next election. But it doesn't seem like it because he has a huge majority in parliament, mostly made of religious Jews.
Do you feel, therefore, that people in public life, like musicians, like someone like yourself who's achieved such global recognition, must take a stand on these contentious issues?
Yes, we must, and we do. Many of my colleagues do, and many don't. Many turn a blind eye. I can't agree with them.
You know, when there is someone listening to you speaking like this, because one of the problems that some of us have here is many of our artists don't speak up strongly enough in the face of, let's say, communalism or targeting of groups. They don't like to get involved in politics because they think politics will in some way tar them or create a controversy.
But what I hear that in India, some of them are harshly treated for taking up stands.
That's right. I recall a few years ago you went to Kashmir.
Yes.
You did a famous concert by the Dal Lake. Was that a special moment for you, going to Kashmir and performing?
Well, I always wanted to perform for Hindus and Muslims together. And the German ambassador in Delhi encouraged my vision, funded the project that I was music director in Munich in those days. So I brought the Munich Orchestra to India on a little tour, and we went to Kashmir, and the German government funded the refurbishing of the Jahangir Gardens.
That's right.
In Kashmir. And Muslims and Hindus came to that concert, much to the objection of people on both sides. And we had with us a small Kashmiri orchestra playing also music, and we played their music with them.
And they had Hindus and Muslims again coming
Yes, of
together,
course.
just as you said, you have
Yes.
Israelis and you hope that you can have Israelis and Palestinians play music together, and they do for you.
Yes.
You had Hindus and Muslims play music together.
Well, at least they were listening, that I know.
Yes. But you would love to have them all together in an orchestra
Yes.
because, as you said, music cuts across
Yes.
all boundaries.
Hindus and Muslims could play in the same orchestra without any problems. I don't think they would have problems.
Is that part of the joy of music? That the idea of music or the love of music knows no identity.
No.
You are a global citizen when you enjoy music.
You're right. You're right. And in Europe, there are so many divisions that when it comes to music, those divisions disappear.
For anyone wanting to trace the musical journey of one of the legends of our times, don't miss that Republic Day special where Zubin Mehta takes you to what it means to be an Indian and a global citizen. That Republic Day special with the legendary musician Zubin Mehta on January 26th. It's rare and archival. Don't miss it. Okay, that's just about what all we could pack in on the news today. Thanks very much for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri, Jain, Namaskar. Reminder, tomorrow our coverage of the Mumbai municipal elections will start at 8 a.m. where we will bring you all the counting across India's commercial capital. For now, Namaskar.